So this came to mind as I watched 1917 about World War I and II movies. So many World War II movies we can think of. Off the bat, Saving Private Ryan, The Thin Red Line, The Longest Day. With World War I though, there's such a small amount of films when people think of that type of era. I think 1917 though is going to be that movie that everyone will remember as the definitive World War I movie and possibly one of the best movies of the 2010s. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for this movie. I'm so excited for you all to see this movie. It comes out officially December 25th in select cities and January 10th in a wider release. And I had a chance to see an early screening for it tonight. And wow, I have got to say this is probably one of the best films of the 2010s and honestly one of the best of the recent war films, a big contender for Oscar season and kind of innovating in a way. But before I get started, tell me in the comments below if you're excited to see this movie, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so we can talk movies, TV shows, and more. But in the meantime, let's talk 1917. Two young British privates during the First World War are given an impossible mission: deliver a message deep in enemy territory that will stop 1,600 men and one of the soldiers' brothers from walking into a deadly trap. That's the premise of the film. It's really quite simple. But the thing is, for movies like this, when you create such a simple storyline, if you have a production value and technical assets to the film that make it better than the story, it ends up being just as good of a film that had a complex or deep storyline. And that's what 1917 does here. It has a feel of Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan's film, and it almost does the same thing that this movie did. Kind of a straightforward story and not too deep when it goes as far as the character development and the storyline, but it's the way that these movies are filmed that make them such a grand achievement in cinema. And one of the things that this movie did was the whole notion of making it look like it was one continuous shot for the whole film with a few edits in between to give you the illusion that it was shot the entire time. The funny thing is though, this isn't the first time in film that this has happened. If you go back all the way to 1948 to Alfred Hitchcock's Rope, he had done the exact same thing. At the time he was experimenting. The film was unfortunately a flop, but it did do the same thing that 1917 did. The amount of work that went into this, the production design, the cinematography, which is by far the best thing out of this film. Roger Deakins is one of my favorite cinematographers, and he had already won an award. He won for Blade Runner 2049. He should win many other awards, and I can already safely say this will be another nomination for him. That's one of the best things about this film, but everything that they put a lot of work into this, and knowing that it was a continuous shot for most of the scenes all the way through, that is enough to give praise for this film, that it actually put forth the effort to give you that authentic feel that it was in World War I. It doesn't come around that often when I'm watching a war film that I feel like I'm really immersed into this world. Not only does it feel like I'm in that time period of 1917, but it feels like I'm in the war. Only a few other war films can I compare this to. Apocalypse Now for the Vietnam War, Saving Private Ryan for World War II. This is the World War I film where I really feel like I'm in the moment. And it follows the two main characters who are played by George McKay and Dean Charles Chapman. These are the ones you stick around with most of the time. And though the film is really, it's amazing, it's great to watch, you don't feel as much for character development. And this is going back to what I was mentioning about Dunkirk and this film, that the achievements on a technical scale really overcome the story development, the character development, and you're with them the entire time, so you don't feel for them as much. And within the period of these two, they go through all these different predicaments that they're facing, and they meet other characters along the way. You see Benedict Cumberbatch, you see Colin Firth, you see Richard Madden. There's a lot of different actors you see along the way. These are the two you're with most of the time, and you still get the thrills, you still get scared, you still get these emotions. And we can kind of forgive movies like this that don't really have an they have a lack of character development or a very simple storyline. But thank you guys so much for hearing my thoughts on it. Don't forget to comment below and tell me if you're excited about seeing 1917 and why. Don't forget to consider subscribing so we can talk movies, TV shows, and more. I'll see you later.